We are obsessed with our lenses. We're obsessed with different film stocks. We're obsessed over the develop that we use with our film. But what about scanning? And more specifically, the cameras that we use to scan our negatives with. With every year, there's new Ks of resolution that we're getting. And I've always been intrigued. What does that resolution mean when it comes to scanning your actual film? Does it matter? Where is the megapixel cutoff? Should you run out and spend thousands of dollars on a brand new camera to get the crispiest of images? Where does that resolution stop resolving? Let's find out, and maybe I can save you some money.
Today's episode is brought to you by Valoi.
It's no secret, for a while now, I have been all in on camera scanning. Back in 2021, I was looking straight down the barrel of 66 rolls of film to scan. That's right there when I decided to ditch the flatbed and move right into camera scanning. So here's the idea, super simple. I'm gonna use 3 different cameras at 3 different resolutions. A 12 megapixel Sony ZV-E1, a 33 megapixel Sony a7 IV, and yeah, a 100 megapixel Hasselblad X2D, which might be overkill. Then I'm gonna shoot all those negatives on each, both in 35 and 120, using the Valoi 360 kit to help everything be flat and consistent. Same film, same light, different cameras. Now I could go out and shoot 2 identical images side by side, but let's be real, that's not how we shoot. So instead I'm gonna choose 2 images that I actually like, one in 120 and the other in 35 millimeter. The kind of images that I actually want to print. So then why am I outside? It's too hot for this. Let's go inside. That's where the scanning is at. Well, I'm back in my office from the heat. I'm here at my camera scanning desk. I've had this idea in my head for a while now, so Valoi was kind enough to sponsor this episode. This 360 kit is basically the culmination of 120 and 35 scanning, all in one setup, which is fantastic. This CS light is maybe one of my favorite things that I've acquired recently because, damn, look at that. It's massively bright. You have a few different settings, cool for negatives, white for black and white, and warm for slides. I'm gonna turn this off. It's killing my eyes. Anyway, but you also have this brush module that keeps your negative really clean when you're scanning. And you have this roller module that helps you get precise framing. You have a few different masks. You have 35, you have 35 sprocket and 35 pano. We're not gonna use those right now. I also don't really like to scan sprocket holes. Sorry, not sorry. But then you also have the 120 holder that goes in here with the 120 masks. Basically place that in. Now, tighten these guys down, and that holds your masks and your holder in place. So for 120, you just wanna move the gaskets over, and this is how you can do those fine precision movements. Also, if you just shoot 35, they have this easy 35 rig that's just like really nice and really easy just to put on your camera, and you can do it for anywhere. I do a lot of different formats, so this is perfect for me. Let's get going. Let's turn this bad boy on, and let's go pick out our negative. Yeah. All you gotta do to load it, super simple. Push it through the little brush holes to clean the negative off a little bit. Where are you, squishy? I use one of these guys, get a little bit more dust off. But when you're ready to seed the image into the rollers, just kind of push it in and then roll as you push. And then it catches, and then it's really nice for fine tuning. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so I'm gonna get to scanning, and just let me do the boring part, and we'll hop into the computer. And I can't forget to mention, if you want to pick up your own kit, visit the link in the description box below because you'll save 10%. Okay, so we are now here in the computer. I've organized everything and labeled it properly. Here, if we see all this black portion, that is kind of like our negative wasted pixels. There is gonna be a difference between the Sonys and the Hasselblad because they're just a different sized sensor. And so it really actually looks pretty good when you're looking at a 6.7. There's not a lot of wasted space. The 645 is almost a full frame of the Hassie. And then if you go to 35, there's a lot of wasted space, a lot of wasted pixels. Whereas if you're looking at a native 3:2 aspect ratio of the Sonys, which are more full frame to full frame, you get very, very little wasted space. basically one-to-one reproduction. Really good. This image right here is the Sony A7 IV. You got a lot of wasted pixels on it compared to your large Hasselblad image. So that's just a little thing for you to know. So let's go in here. Let's see the two Sony images next to each other. Honestly, at the end of the day, these both look phenomenal. Let's see what the Sony looks like versus the Hassi. Really, they're pretty close. The Hassi seems to be a little soft, but at the same time, if you match the ZV-E1 frame to the Hassi frame at a different magnification, the ZV-E1 falls apart quick. And the Hassi still looks good, obviously. Damn, I mean, you could just punch right into that boat. They all honestly look pretty great to me. So now that we've converted and pixel peeped and we know that one definitely has more resolution, let's see what it's like in a real world scenario. So I guess when we're talking about viewing our work on phones and the most popular platform on the planet for sharing work, Instagram, honestly, I don't see a difference. I don't think it matters. I don't think anything matters. It's kind of depressing. 12 megapixel camera versus 100 megapixel and nothing matters. And we should all just, ow. Oh, what the hell was that for? Okay, dumbass. You know that's not the entire story. We've been here. We've done this. Printing. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let me take it from here. So behind me is the Icon. They are a pro lab here in sunny California, and they know how to print big. So since I do not, let's go learn a thing or two from the masters.
My name is Ken Thompson. I am the Director of Fine Art here at the Icon. So I work with people every day looking at their images, trying to figure out what paper to print on, how large they could go, color correction, retouching. Yeah?
Now, after a couple hours of Master Icon Ken teaching me the ways of the printing, we came up with our max printing size for each image. And then we took that a step even further. We ended up making cropped proof prints to show what the detail would be like without wasting a ton of ink on my dumbass.
You know, from back here, 2 humans away, they all look good. I mean, even the ZV-E1 from back here, that's 40 inches on the long. You know, you stand, how far am I? I'm 6, 7, 8 feet away or something like that.
And it totally resolves.
It totally resolves, yeah. It totally looks good.
So much grain in there. Oh, well, this looks like terrible. But,
Oh yeah, no, totally.
but the sky looks good.
Yeah, that's passable if you were to just stand back. But that's a massive print.
Yeah,
I
72 inches.
72 inches. 72 inches doesn't even fit that wall, that thing back there.
Totally doesn't.
40 inches on the ZV-E1 definitely does not hold up. The grain structure is garbage. It looks like a hot mess. Now, if we're going over here, get down to the 20 inch on the height, it's actually not bad. It's starting to look good. I'd maybe do 24, but you could pass a 28 inch probably if you wanted. But this 40 inches over here on the A7 IV looks pretty good. 44 inches is a little too far. That's that grain structure that's starting to get blah. But you know, you can go 40 inches, I think, and you have a lot of nice detail here. You have a lot of a nice compact grain structure. You can totally do this and it would look good. You can even see, look at that. If you look at that sign, totally legible. Looks good, unlike this garbage ZV-E1. And come on, you play with the Hassi and you get a good looking image. I mean,
Even from here, we're what, 3 feet away?
yeah.
It's still resolving itself really well.
Oh, totally.
I mean, like lots of rust and barnacles here.
Oh yeah, that little whatever that
Yeah.
little thing is there.
A little piece of
You could
seaweed.
get away with it. Okay, so to illustrate the size and scale of these prints, let's use a little bit of tape and a little bit of a ruler to block it out for you. So now that we are back in my office and I put the colored tape on the back wall, what did we end up learning? Well, first thing is that I'm not here to talk about the difference in the film's quality in terms of 35mm and medium format. You can obviously get more resolution from 120. Today we are talking about the print quality and how big either film can go depending on the megapixels used. Depending on how big you want to go, that 12 megapixel sensor will still cap your 120 image. You will not get more resolution. These lines behind me here represent what I would say is the maximum print quality you can get from the different scanning cameras we used. So right here, represented by the blue line, is actually 60 inches on the longest side from our 100 megapixel camera. The red line is our 33 megapixel camera coming in at 40 inches, and the yellow is our 12 megapixel camera coming in at 24 inches. These boxes represent how big you can realistically print either 35 or 120 with each one of the cameras and not have your film image fall poop or crap. So really at the end of the day, you need to know how big you want to print. That's where Ken starts all his conversations with his clients. That means for you and your mirrorless setup, the biggest decision you should make is how big you plan, and I'd say on average, plan to print your work. Realistically, you could probably go a little bit bigger than this with your camera scans that we used in today's episode, but you will have to pull out some tricks and really doctor your image up for it to be realistic. And I also can't forget to mention another big factor is viewing distance. You can totally print a 12 megapixel image massive if you just don't get close to it. That's how the Shot on iPhone campaign was started back with the iPhone 6S and its phone 12 megapixel camera. But that was because they were meant to be on billboards and not meant to be seen close. Now, at the end of my time there at the Icon, I actually witnessed them wrapping up a 70-inch print from a 35mm negative drum scan. That's bigger than the blue line back there, and it looked amazing. So really, you have a ton of resolve with your negatives. You can go massive and it will still look good with the right tools. Like I said, at the end of the day, it depends on how big you want to go. If social media is where you primarily share your work and don't plan on printing, big at least, you can totally invest in a 12 megapixel camera and spend the money on some good glass. But if you do plan to go big often, then maybe 100 megapixels is right for you. But you can get a lot of drum scans for the price of a medium format camera. For me, knowing that I can get a good 40-inch print from my Sony a7 IV, I'm really happy with that. And when, I have to go massive for my eventual Leica gallery, I'm manifesting, then maybe I'll get those drum scans for maximum resolution. This whole episode might have been obvious to you, but I like to see the process unfold with my own eyes, and I just had a lot of fun, and I also learned a lot. And isn't that what this whole thing's about? So 2 massive thanks to Valoi for sponsoring this episode, and for the Icon for being so dope and lending me their time and expertise. So how about you go out there, shoot some, and I don't know, maybe print too. Okay.